Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, giving you the endgame update on what has become quite comfortably my smoothest character for the league, the Poison Scourge Arrow Pathfinder, based around Darkscorn and Divine Flesh, Timeless Jewel Keystone. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, the goal there is to get up to 85 Chaos Res capped out, which then makes you take a lot less elemental damage, makes you take a lot less physical damage, and overall you still definitely have enough damage to take on everything in the current game and do it pretty smoothly. This character ended up almost hitting level 95. I was like 94.8 or so when I just was kind of done with the end game and wanted to go for the reroll. So I started the next character, but we always hit level 95 quite effortlessly without really feeling like I was grinding at all, because I just absolutely loved playing this guy. He's really good for delve, as you can see. You just melt all the packs away doing my deepest delves. For the boss fights, it was just insane. You have a lot of sustain, a lot of sort of avoidance to just run around and be able to avoid things quite comfortably thanks to the nature of Scourge Arrow and Mirage Archer. And then you are just quite tanky overall thanks to the Divine Flesh and the Max Chaos Res. And I could very comfortably do some of these tougher delve mods where, like, some of them would do increased elemental damage, crit, that sort of thing. And the ones like in Abyssal City where you just take damage relentlessly, but it doesn't really matter. Likewise with the Legions in tier 15 and 16 maps and hard sort of mods, I could take multiple hits compared to just about any of my other characters that would get one-tapped. And then I started doing some shaped sextant action, or sorry, just some sextant stacked on sextant action, and you could see that was a tier 15 Abaxoth that showed up, did nothing, it disappeared almost instantly. And this here is a pretty good example of what you can really do with the power of sextants. And it's a summit map with 5 sextants on it, and using the Harbinger Scarab as well. So you are getting more Harbingers this way, and I do have double Beyond on the map, I have Nemesis on the map, and then the Sextant mods that make your Harbingers drop additional fragments, additional currency items, and then I've also got corrupted items dropping from unique bosses, which applies to the Beyond bosses. There's additional Nemesis currency drops, and in the end you can see that the loot gets pretty insane, the monsters are getting pretty insane, and it's just the kind of thing I had to do on this character to keep things very much fun and interesting. Otherwise regular mapping is kind of just too much of a face roll. But you can see just how insane some of this loot becomes through these powerful sextant mods. They are of course very rare though, and I did get fairly lucky putting them all together, but the point here is to showcase the power of the build, that you can just take on non-stop multiple Beyonds and Harbingers and bosses and legions, and you can pretty much just face tank most of it without really worrying too much. And this is a good example of the power of the sextant mods, where it's just a regular old incursion temple room. You know, you're not really clearing almost much more at all. You just got a bit of Beyond spawning, which then spawns rare monsters with Nemesis, but at the end of it you get so much more loot than you normally would from a regular incursion temple. But to talk a bit more about the build, well, since last video I haven't really done too much more aside from level a little bit and maybe just change a couple of passives around, because I decided to prioritize a little bit attack speed and movement speed. And besides that, it's just basically get a few more levels, and this is the type of character that can really benefit from more and more levels, because I'm next to a lot of good quality of life and utility stuff on the passive tree. So if I get level 94, 95, I can pick up another good little cluster of nodes, and another level 97, 98, you can get another little cluster of nodes, and it will really just benefit you to level more and more. And as well as that, you can start filling out your life a lot more, and then ultimately you should be able to hit 7k life if you really want in this build with 85 Chaos Res. and all the Darkscorn stuff. And you can see in the 5-way battle, it cleans up pretty respectably for the trash. With the boss fights, there is a bit of ramp time involved for your poison to start taking effect, and of course you have to strategically place your wither totems. A lot of the time it won't be quite that easy, and it's not the worst for a 5-way fight, but I don't think it was my best character. It was very safe for the most part. I would rarely come into any real danger, but it's not the fastest burst damage on these bosses, so in the end it was something like 2.5 rows of loot, which is a little bit under what my best was for some other builds where just you have a lot better burst against the bosses, but it is reliable and it is very much a decent enough 5-way clearer, by no means a fail, and you can still squeeze out more damage if you really wanted to, but well, I just wanted to get a bit more EHP up and start, building a really complete character, a really well-tuned, finely tuned, well-oiled machine, and you still get plenty of loot even doing a 2.5 up to 3 row 5-way battle. It just depends on if you get lucky or not. Got 3 jewels, got a 6 link or so, and then you can see the example of our single target. You really do want to have flasks up to get any damage out of your real single target as a Pathfinder. So a lot of the time, if you just want to press at least a Quicksilver while running around, then that's going to get you a lot of your damage going from the Pathfinder nodes. But when you go full-blown flasks, that's when you get all of the damage going. And you can see the power of the ramp, that you only really need to attack the Phoenix a couple times and then run away, and the rest of the damage will tick as you're just running around. And you can face tank a lot of this, you can take a lot of the damage, but it's also a very safe playstyle if you want it to be, and just bail a little bit on, taking the damage from things like a Minotaur, though we could definitely face tank him, and it pays off just a little bit better damage-wise, because as I mentioned with the second arrow, if you're clicking right next to yourself, your spore pods will spread out better, and they will hit the target much more efficiently. That's about it for the character though. Very strong, would recommend for some Scourge Arrow poison action. Darkscorn's just that strong right now, comboed with the Divine Flesh. I'm going to leave you guys with the first Uber Elder I did, absolute face roll. So much so I had to force myself to take a bit of damage because I wanted to test my damage reduction abilities. So thank you very much for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the build, and see you next time. There's still a bit of ramp, and of course if you don't have your flasks up, it's not going to do much damage. So whenever I'm trying to save flasks, it's kind of detrimental. Tank the balls like I want to, kind of. At least one ball hit. Just take a single slap from a ball. Be kind of nice. Trying to avoid those balls though. Do my best to just leave them out. Fuck, dude. That one came out of nowhere. I may as well pop them. Fuck. Oh shit. I haven't been hit by anything thus far. One sneaky ball hit? Yeah! I got hit by 2. And survived. Not bad. Slapped by 2 balls. Not even caring. I mean, I cared a little, right? It's pretty good. It's pretty fucking thick. build so good I have to force myself to take damage to check. And what an absolute pile of shit. A nightmare maze shaped? Nah.